So if we want to define success from a sales standpoint, then we just make sure that we maximize the investors or the investment, the sale of the investment to a qualified organization to make sure that we have the contacts that can bring the most viable buyers or those that would apply the most value to their organization. And anytime when you're in an M&A situation, there's more than just those tangible aspects of an acquisition. There's also the intangibles. Is there a line of business that a certain buyer is looking for that you can sell your organization to that would maximize how much value you would get? Is it the management team they're looking for? Is it the filling out a branch network? And so there's multiple reasons or multiple ways that you can also bring intangible value in the sale of an organization. And so we try to work with our organizations prior to the actual event to try to create an organization that will fulfill those type of value, intangible value things that would add overall value more than just from a tangible standpoint. We also value success from a buying standpoint. If we're representing our buyers, how can we analyze the acquisition in such a way to make sure that the stockholders in the long term create an organization that is worth more than it would be without an acquisition. So that's one of my expertise is from the quantitative aspect side of it is how dilutive or accretive is the transaction from a tangible book value or a book value standpoint, or how accretive or dilutive is it from an EPS standpoint going forward, and what is the payback period between dilution of book value and tangible book value to the EPS accretion, and how long does that take? And we can tell our clients what is the normal payback period for those type of transactions, and how much will the stockholders be better off by doing the transaction than if they didn't do the transaction. And that means that we have to price it right. You know, how much do you pay for it? If you pay too much, those payback periods become way too extended. We also have to understand what are the short and long-term goals of the stockholder base. If they are an aging stockholder base, entering into a transaction that has a long payback period probably is not what they need to get into. And therefore, we'll make sure that if they are doing an acquisition, it meets their overall goals and objectives of a stockholder base of that organization that is purchasing. So we also know what the strengths and weaknesses of the buying entity is, organization. And so we'll look for purchases that will add those intangible values, i.e. filling out a branch network, bringing a very valuable line of business, bringing a management team that may be the next generation to fulfill. And so besides the quantitative side, we also look at the intangible side to determine whether it is a good fit for them and whether they ought to purchase it, and at what levels does it make sense from a valuation standpoint to do that.